Hello dear students, welcome to my channel Maths with Panindra. In this video, we are going to discuss definite integrals. The chapter definite integrals. In intermediate, we have the weightage of this chapter is two 2 marks questions, 2 VSAQs, 1 SAQ and 1 LAQ. So total 15 marks regarding from definite integration, which is chapter number 7. 2 VSAQs, 1 SAQ and 1 LAQ. Total 15 marks. Now first we have to discuss about what is the definition of definite integrals. Definite integral. So just to define definition. Let f of x be a function defined on closed interval of a comma b. Let f of x be a function on closed interval of a comma b. Function we are taking f of x be a function on closed interval of a comma b. After that, integral, if we know that in indefinite integration we learned that integral f of x dx is equal to capital F of x. If integral f of x dx equal to capital F of x, where capital F of x is f dash of x is equal to small f of x. If integral f of x dx equal to capital F of x, then regarding this interval we are writing capital F of b minus capital F of a. This value is called definite integral. Definite integral of f of x over the interval a comma b. This is the second important point. First point is let f of x be a function on closed interval of a comma b. If integral f of x dx equal to capital F of x, then capital F of b minus capital F of a is called definite integral of f of x over closed interval of a comma b. It is denoted by integral a to b f of x dx. It is denoted by integral f of x into dx. After knowing the definition of definite integrals, here one important point is there. Fundamental theorem of integral calculus. Fundamental theorem of integral calculus. What is the fundamental theorem of integral calculus? What is fundamental theorem of integral calculus? We already taken that function. If f of x is continuous on closed interval of a comma b, then integral a to b f of x dx is equal to capital F of b minus f of a. This principle is called fundamental theorem of integral calculus. Once again I'll write. If f of x is continuous on closed interval of a comma b, then integral a to b f of x dx is equal to capital F of b minus capital F of a. This result is called fundamental theorem of integral calculus, where capital F dash of x is equal to small f of x. the derivative of capital F of x, derivative of capital F of x is equal to small f of x. This is about fundamental theorem of integral calculus and definition of definite integral. The next concept, the geometrical interpretation of definite integral. The geometrical interpretation of definite integrals, What is the meaning of geometrical interpretation of definite integral? This you have to know about. This is a basic one. Just briefly I will explain. Let f of x be a function defined on closed interval of a comma b. Defined on closed interval of a comma b. This is the first one. You have to take to geometrical interpretation of definite integral. You have to take the function. In general, integral f of x into dx, integral a to b f of x dx. In general, integral a to b f of x dx represents as algebraic sum of the areas bounded by the curve y is equal to f of x and the ordinates and x is equal to a. Here a and b are lower limit and upper limit now. So x is equal to a and x is equal to b. X is equal to a and x is equal to b. And x-axis. In general, integral a to b f of x dx represents as algebraic sum of the areas bounded by the curve y is equal to f of x and x is equal to a, x is equal to b and x-axis. See here how the definition will be in the diagram will show that. See here x-axis, y-axis, origin. Suppose the curve we can take like this. Y is equal to f of x curve. It is not exactly sine curve, just y is equal to f of x curve. And this curve meets x-axis at the points a1, a2, a3. Suppose if it is like a4 and a5. The curve cuts at these points on x-axis. See, this I am taking this line. This line is parallel to y-axis. So x is equal to, I am taking small a. Here, the last one, x is equal to b. That means small a is equal to a1 here, small b is equal to a5 here. In general, integral a to b f of x dx represents as algebraic sum of the areas bounded by the curve y is equal to f of x and x is equal to a line and x is equal to b line and with x-axis. See here, this I am taking as area 1 area 2, area 3, area 4. So here we can take as numbers small a1, small a2, small a3, like small a4. And here instead of writing a5, small b you can write. Instead of a1, you can write as small a. So now the algebraic sum, this integral a to b f of x dx is equal to, we can write as sum of the areas a1, a2, this area is below the x-axis, no? Whenever it is below the x-axis, we can write as minus a2. And from here to here it is above the x-axis, plus a3. Again, from here to here it is below the x-axis, minus a4. This is integral a to b f of x dx equal to a1 minus a2 plus a3 minus a4. This is the geometrical interpretation of definite integrals. So for any function y is equal to f of x, be a function defined on closed interval of a comma b. After that we can take like this. And in this integral a to b f of x dx, integral a to b f of x into dx is equal to f of b minus f of a. We already defined that as indefinite integral now. Definite integral. Here a indicates lower limit. The real number a is called lower limit. Lower limit. This real number b is called upper limit. Upper limit. F of x, you know that which is the function which is going to integrate. That function is called integrand. Integrand. And here dx represents integrate with respect to x. Integrate with respect to x. Suppose d by dx means differentiate with respect to x. Here into dx is there means we can take that as integrate with respect to x. So integral a to b f of x dx equal to f of b minus f of a. That is fundamental theorem of integral calculus. Now we will discuss about the properties of definite integrals. These properties are very important. Step by step, even this intermediate class, which will help for JEE, MSET, any competitive exams of mathematics. It will help you. Now dear students, we are going to discuss the properties of definite integrals, general properties. The first property, variable change property. Variable change property. Integral a to b f of x dx is equal to integral a to b f of t dt. Even you can write in other terms y also. Integral a to b f of y dy. Like this, if you want to write in terms of s, you can integral a to b f of s ds. Like this you can write. This property is known as variable change property. This property is known as variable change property. See how it is, these all are equal. Suppose I will take one example. For this, integral a to b f of x dx. No? Put x is equal to t. I am taking x is equal to t. I am going to get these two are making equal. Differentiate with respect to x. 1 is equal to dt by dx. So cross multiplying, you will get it dx is equal to dt now. So whenever you are taking assumption in definite integration, limit will change. So when x is equal to upper limit, when x is equal to b, t is also equal to b. lower limit when x is equal to a, lower limit t is equal to a. So integral lower limit is a, upper limit is b. F of wherever x is there, you have to replace with t. Into wherever dx is there, replace with dt. Both are equal only now. So in place of t, if you take y, x is equal to y, differentiate with respect to y. 1 is equal to dt by dy will come. Sorry, dy by dx will come. Dx is equal to dy. Substitute in that. So that is the reason this property is known as variable change property. Variable change property. Integral a to b f of x. Generally we will use these two. Integral a to b f of x dx equal to integral a to b f of t dt. In second place, second property if you discuss, integral a to a f of x dx is equal to 0. Whenever upper limit and lower limit are equal, so a is equal to b. If a is equal to b, then integral goes to be 0. When upper limit and lower limit goes to be 0, equal, then the integral, definite integral value goes to be 0. How it will be 0? No one is asking. You have to. See, suppose by definition of fundamental theorem of integral calculus or definition of definite integral, integral a to b f of x dx is equal to what? F of b minus f of a only, no? Now in place of b also a is there. What about this one? So integral a to a f of x dx is equal to capital F of a minus f of a only. So both are equal only. That is the reason this value goes to be 0. So whenever upper limit and lower limit of given definite integral is equal, then the integral a to b, a to a, f of x dx value goes to be 0. Next property, third property, yes. Property number 3. Integral a to b f of x dx is equal to minus integral b to a f of x into dx. This property is known as sign change property. Sign change property. Sign change. Here plus is there, no, here minus is there. Sign change property of definite integrals. How it will be? Integral a to b f of x dx equal to minus integral b to a f of x dx. See here, integral a to b f of x dx, by definition of definite integral, this value is f of b minus f of a. Is it right? Obviously. So which is also can be written as, if you take common minus from these two, so we can write it as capital F of a minus capital F of b. I am taking common minus. F of b minus f of a, we can write as integral a to b f of x dx. Now, integral b to a I am taking. Integral b to a f of x dx equal to capital F of a minus f of b only, no? Capital F of a minus f of b. In place of this, can I replace this value? Which is equal to minus of integral b to a f of x dx. Therefore, integral a to b f of x dx can be written as minus of b to a f of x dx. So ultimately from this property what we have to learn, if we interchange the limits, the sign will come, the sign will change automatically. If 1 to 2, suppose 3x plus 5, some f of x you can take better, f of x dx, this also equal to minus integral 2 to 1 f of x dx. That's all. Whenever you are going to interchange the limits, upper limit and lower limit, then automatically the sign of the integral will be changed. That is the main aim of this property, sign change property of the definite integrals. Next, fourth property. property number 4. A is less than C is less than B. That means the value of C is a real number which lies between A and B. Then the integral A to B, definite integral of integral A to B f of x dx can be expressed as, see here like this, it is from A to C plus C to B. So integral A to C f of x dx plus integral C to B f of x dx. So we can split into one integral split into two integrals. Integral A to B f of x dx equal to integral A to C f of x dx plus integral C to B f of x dx. Suppose not only one number in between A comma B, number of are there. That is, suppose in between A comma B, like C1, C2, C3 and so on, some values Cn till n numbers are there, or R numbers are there, CR numbers are there. A to C1, C1 to C2, C2 to C3 and so on, CR to B. So that also we can write it as integral A to B f of x dx can be expressed as the sum of these integrals, integral A to C1 f of x dx plus integral C1 to C2 f of x dx plus integral C2 to C3 f of x dx plus and so on, integral CR to B f of x dx. So this is the sub property of this one. Mainly this property we will use number of times in the coming classes. I will give the examples for this.